The Get On Living Safely campaign is sponsoring this podcast to remind you to keep your spending in the community. Supporting local businesses keeps food on the table for our friends and neighbors. Follow them on social media and learn more at getonlivingsafely.com. In this edition, we chatted with country artist Tony Arbanas. We talked about early influences, his new album, Roots, his songwriting process and recording, plus he updates us on a new music video and what's next for him. You can find more conversations on our website, lacrosselocal.com. I'm Amy.
And I'm Brent.
And this is Lacrosse Local.
My name's Tony Arbanas. I was born and raised in the state of Wisconsin. Gosh, I guess getting into writing music and music in general, I started playing piano when I was 9 or 10 years old. Our mother kind of did that for all of us. I come from a family of 8. And she made sure all of us, were able to either try or play an instrument growing up. And piano was what we always started out with. I played piano for a good 5 or 6 years before I picked up a guitar. Just from there, I guess I just had a musical inclination to learn different instruments and write. I started writing when I was 12. But yeah, the whole music thing, I guess it's kind of been in my blood since I was young, and my family really surrounded me with it, which was awesome.
Over the past couple of days, I've been listening to the new album, Roots. As a child in the 90s myself, I'm getting some throwback vibes. My head goes to bands like Black Hawk, Little Texas, kind of that singer-songwriter, country ballads. What are some of your musical influences?
It's kind of weird. That's usually what I wanted to stick with growing up or writing music, was people that wrote ballads more than just something generic. And guys like John Anderson, believe it or not, probably one of the number one bands I listened to growing up was Breaking Benjamin, considering the type of music I write. But they were and still are kind of one of my biggest influences for writing music. Gordon Lightfoot was a big one. I listened to a lot of Gordon Lightfoot growing up. Right now, in this day and age, I've been listening to a lot of Eric Church. I've really appreciated his angle, and I guess he's kind of a rebel in the country scene. And his way of writing music is very similar, I think, to what people wrote back in the 90s. Songs that had a deeper meaning to them compared to everything else out there. I think he's a very talented songwriter, so I've been watching him very closely too with what he does. But no, you're absolutely right. The ballad style stuff is kind of what I shoot for when I'm writing music.
So speaking of that, how do you go about writing music? What is your process? Is it something that comes out stream of thought very quickly, or is it something over an extended amount of time?
I guess I never really had a real process for writing music, nothing that was really set in stone. It's very rare that I actually sat down and tried to write something. Usually it comes to me. I'll be practicing with my guitar, or I'll be driving down the road. I'll hear a song and some other melody will come in my head, and typically I try to save that melody somehow, either humming into a recording device on my phone or something, or just try to play it in my head to home. But usually a melody will come to me first, and then I'll sit down with piano or guitar and then kind of just fabricate or develop something from there. Never really had a set in stone process for writing music, I guess. It's pretty impromptu.
In terms of recording, so you got the new album. Do you just jump in there and go, or is that a little bit longer spread? Do you take your time with it?
Yeah, this one took a long time. This one took probably 4 years to actually develop, just because there is a lot of talent behind it. There's a lot of people that were able to help me with it. The guy that helped me produce it, it's a cousin of mine. His name's Alec Tickey. He's got his own studio in the cities, and I travel up there and we do what's called overdubs. Basically, you record something, and you're probably familiar with the term too, and then you're recording something over that recording over time. We had a drummer we did overdubs for 4 years ago. We did background vocals, lead vocals, acoustic. I had a guy that, his name's Brandon. He did a lot of lead guitar for me and different solo parts of the songs. There's a steel guitarist in Nashville that I met through my fiddler that did a lot of over for the songs for me last year. Then yeah, it's it. So trying to juggle between all of those guys' life, because they all have lives, they all have different full-time jobs like I do, and trying to get that all recorded it just took forever. And it's kind of the way it came together, I guess. I didn't think it was going to take this long, but I'm like so relieved that, okay, it's together. It's something like it's right there now. It's completed. It was kind of cool because all the different talent behind it, a lot of it, I left it up to those guys that kind of put in it what they wanted, which kind of gave it a lot more character. It took a long time. I don't expect the next one to take that long. I hope. We'll see.
So what songs are you currently really digging off this release?
My personal favorite ones is actually Down That Road and Workin' Boots. I really like Down That Road just because the story behind that one was, I feel like, one of my more creative ones.
Take a turn down memory lane, take a trip inside my head.
All my songs are based off of something in my life, and mostly it has to do with family. And that song means a lot to me when it comes to some people in my family. And then Workin' Boots, just because I really dig the rhythm in that one. It's kind of my get up and go song or whatever in that album.
Well, I lay back on a Friday night while my boys are running wild, yeah, painting the town. They know they see it coming when they hit the hay. When the morning comes, they're gonna hear me say, well, there's wood to stack, a dog to feed, Lord have mercy.
I think it's probably one of my, I feel like it's one of the catchier ones to me, But yeah, those two definitely are my two favorite, I'd say.
So recently you released a new music video and working with Jason Ray Photography, Jason Stumkeys, who actually we interviewed on episode 40. Can you tell us the story behind that and how you got together on that project?
Yeah. So Jason, we met through a family friend, years ago. It was my wife and I, when we got married, he was our photographer. And just ever since, Jason's kind of been like my photography guy to go to. He had never done a music video before. This was his first music video. So it was kind of a new experience for both of us, which was neat. And I can't believe how it came together in general, just from the fact that it was his first music video. He did such an amazing job. Over the past year, I guess we were talking a little bit about what we wanted to do. And then it finally came to a point in time where like, okay, we need to get this done now. And so we kind of rushed it together a little faster than I'd like, but it had to get done. But we bounced off each other ideas on, scenes and things like that. And just a really cool guy to work with. I love working with that guy every time we have a project or whatever. So it really turned out great.
So in terms of, what's coming down the road, I'm sure your life has been affected by COVID, just like a lot of other artists and, 100% of the population. What's next for you in music?
I really want to start playing downtown La Crosse. And I know in this day and age, it's just, you don't know when that's going to happen. So there's a guy I'm practicing right now, and he used to play with a couple bands locally. His name's Joey Robinson. And him and I have been playing, and we want to do an acoustic duo eventually and do some cover stuff and maybe some things of my own, putting myself and my friend out in the music scene in general. But right now is a good time to practice.
Yeah, that's too bad. So if people want to find out more or, listen to your music, where's the best avenue for them to go to?
You can pretty much find it on any program right now. It's on Apple Tunes, Amazon Music. You can go on Facebook on the page, and there's a website called Bandcamp where you can actually order a hard copy album if you wanted. But if you got Alexa at home, all I got to say is, hey, Alexa, play Roots by Tony Arbanas, and it'll be on there. So that's probably one more easier avenues, I'd say.
La Crosse Local Podcast is a production of River Travel Media. Do you have an interview idea you would like to share with us? Message us on Facebook at La Crosse Locals. Subscribe to the La Crosse Local Podcast on your favorite podcast app. If you like us, rate us 5 stars. We thank you for it.